One man walked into work and walked out with $8.2 million in cash. No alarms, no chaos, just gone. It was a theft so bold, so simple, that even the FBI was left stunned. He wasn't a masked robber. He wasn't a gangster with a weapon. He was an insider, someone trusted with the keys to America's wealth, a vault technician whose very job was to protect the money. But beneath the routine, a secret plan was unfolding, a plan no one saw coming. No alarms rang. No guard were hurt. Cameras caught nothing unusual. It was as if the cash simply evaporated into thin air. But it hadn't. Someone had calculated every second, every lock, every blind spot. And in the end, he strolled out of the building carrying millions, while the world kept turning unaware. When the theft was discovered, panic spread. The FBI launched one of the most aggressive manhunts in recent memory. Airports were locked down. Highways were monitored. Borders were placed on alert. Every lead was pursued, every connection dissected, but the trail ended almost as soon as it began. He was gone, vanished into the shadows, with $8.2 million stuffed in his pockets. Decades later, the questions remain. Did he escape overseas? Did he bury the cash in secret? Did he create a new identity and live among us unnoticed? Or did his perfect crime collapse under its own weight? Take him to an unmarked grave with $8.2 million still hidden away? To this day, the FBI has no answers. Only speculation. Only theories. And one of the boldest unsolved crimes in American history. This is not just a heist. This is a story of betrayal, deception, and a man who slipped through the cracks of the world's most powerful law enforcement agency. Tonight, we open a vault and uncover the mystery of the technician who outsmarted them all. He wasn't famous. He wasn't flashy. To his co-workers, he was just another technician, a quiet man in a sea of uniforms. He didn't demand attention. He blended into the background, a shadow among shadows. And that was his greatest weapon, invisibility. As a vault technician, his job was built on trust. He had clearance where others did not. He handled keys and combinations. He monitored systems few people truly understood. To management, he was reliable, dependable. He showed up on time, never complained, never asked for more than what he was given. But behind the calm exterior was a man studying every routine, memorizing every weakness, and waiting for the right moment to act. What sets apart an ordinary thief from a mastermind is patience. He didn't rush. He didn't draw suspicion. For years, he did his job faithfully, quietly absorbing the rhythm of the vault. He knew when guards rotated. He knew when cameras shifted. He knew how long it took for supervisors to cross-check logs. He didn't need brute force. He only needed time to understand the system better than the people who designed it. Outwardly, he lived simply. No expensive car. No mansion. He wasn't the type to raise suspicion with sudden wealth. But simplicity was a mask. Behind closed doors, he wrestled with ambition. Dreams too big for a paycheck. He watched others rise while he remained invisible. And that invisibility began to burn inside him. He wanted more. Not slowly, not eventually. He wanted everything, all at once. Looking back, there were warning signs. He rarely socialized, avoided deep friendships, and never spoke much about his personal life. Some colleagues thought he was simply shy. Others considered him private. But in truth, he was isolating himself, separating the man he pretended to be from the man he was becoming. No one asked questions because no one saw him as dangerous. And that assumption would cost him millions. He studied every detail with the precision of an engineer. He knew when to arrive. He knew what tools to carry. He rehearsed the routine so many times that, when the day finally came, it would look like nothing out of the ordinary. To anyone watching, it was just another day at work. To him, it was a culmination of years of silent preparation. The night before the heist, there was no celebration. No reckless drinking, no confessions, just silence. He ate dinner alone, checked his tools one last time, and set his alarm clock for the next morning. By sunrise, he would no longer be just another vault technician. By the end of his shift, he would become a ghost carrying millions, A man the FBI would chase and never catch. The day of the heist began like any other. No sirens, no alarms, just an ordinary man heading to work. He followed the same routine he had perfected for years. The same breakfast, the same route, the same parking spot. To anyone watching, it was a man living another ordinary day. But inside his mind, every second was accounted for, every movement rehearsed. This wasn't chance, it was choreography. The vault was designed to be impenetrable. Multi-layered doors, reinforced steel, cameras on every corner. It was built to keep thieves out. But what no one considered was what might happen when the threat came from within. He didn't need to break in. He was already inside the fortress. He knew the codes. He knew the timing. And that made him unstoppable. Every movement had to appear normal. Every step had to look routine. He couldn't draw suspicion, not even for a moment. With the ease of muscle memory, he began his tasks, checking locks, monitoring counts, jotting figures. To co-workers, it was another morning. To him, it was the opening move in a game no one else knew had begun. The money wasn't taken all at once. That would raise questions. Instead, he worked with the patience of a surgeon, bundle by bundle, stack by stack. He placed the cash into a bag designed to look ordinary, indistinguishable from the thousands of others that passed through the facility every week. He wasn't rushing. He wasn't panicking. He was calm, too calm, because he knew no one was watching closely enough to notice. Time was his greatest ally. The vault was always busy, always in motion, with technicians moving bags, counting stacks, logging shipments. In that chaos, his actions vanished into the noise. No one noticed that one bag weighed more than it should. No one checked that every stack returned to its place. Hours passed. The money kept disappearing into his bag, and yet the vault looked untouched. This was the point of no return. Once he walked out, there was no undoing it. No excuse would cover the weight of a bag stuffed with millions in cash. No story could explain away the missing fortune. He had a choice. Leave everything behind or walk into history as a man who stole $8.2 million in plain sight. He chose the latter. No alarm sounded. No guards raised questions. He didn't run, didn't flinch, didn't look over his shoulder. He simply walked out, like he had countless times before, to the cameras. He was just another worker leaving the floor. To reality, he was walking away with $8.2 million in cold, hard cash. And just like that, he was gone. No chase. No resistance. By the time anyone realized what happened, the vault was lighter by $8.2 million. The man who had spent years blending and had finally stepped out of the shadows and disappeared forever. Shock does not arrive with sirens. It begins with silence. An employee, doing a routine check, stumbles upon a terrifying realization. Millions are missing. Not thousands. Not hundreds of thousands. $8.2 million. Gone. In an instant, the air inside the company thickens. Supervisors demand answers. Employees are questioned. Security cameras rewound. Every door log analyzed. The unimaginable has happened. Someone, an insider, walked out with more cash than most people will see in a lifetime. The call goes out. First the local police, then within hours, the FBI. A theft of this scale isn't just a crime. It's a national emergency. A federal case is open before the ink on the incident report has even dried. Federal investigators descend with precision. Every camera feed, every bank transaction, every gas station receipt in a 50-mile radius is scrutinized. Airports and bus terminals are put on alert. The thief is not just a fugitive. He is a man who embarrassed a system designed never to fail. But he was always one step ahead. No reckless purchases, no digital trail, no contact with family. It was as though the earth swallowed him whole. For the FBI, every lead ended in smoke. For the victims, the company, the system, the agents tasked with capturing him, humiliation settled in. How could a single man, with no army, no violence, no gunfire, outwit the entire federal government? The longer he stayed missing, the more he transformed from suspect to legend. A ghost who had cracked open America's most trusted vault and vanished without a trace. And the world was left asking, where you hide when you're carrying $8.2 million in cash? The theft wasn't just numbers on a ledger. It was a rupture of faith. If millions could vanish from one of the most secure facilities in America, what else could slip through the cracks? To employees, it was betrayal. To the public, it was a chilling reminder. Security is only as strong as the people behind it. With no arrest, theories sprouted like wildfire. Did he flee across borders with hidden contacts? Did he bury the cash in remote fields, waiting to reclaim it under a new identity? Or did he vanish into something darker, eliminated by those who want his fortune for themselves? Rhymes like these do not begin with courage. They begin with calculation, a patient mind, a willingness to exploit trust as the ultimate weapon. The vault technician wasn't armed with guns or masks. He was armed with access. And access, once betrayed, is more dangerous than any weapon. From this case, a warning emerges. Even the most sophisticated security systems crumble when insiders turn rogue. Background checks, surveillance, trust protocols. None of it matters if the wrong person holds a key. $8.2 million was more than a jackpot. It was livelihoods, pensions, trust funds, small businesses depending on their banks to function. Behind every missing dollar, there was a human consequence. And that is the true cost of greed. Invisible victims who will never see their names in headlines. Some criminals are caught, others are remembered, but a rare few disappear, leaving only a question mark behind. The vault tech who stole $8.2 million fooled the FBI, humiliated his employers, and melted into myth. Perhaps he's still out there. Perhaps the money rests beneath our feet, buried in silence. Or perhaps the greatest trick he ever pulled was vanishing from history itself. Decades have passed, yet no trace of the man or the money has ever surfaced. Was he a genius who slipped into a new life under a new name? Or did greed consume him, leading to an ending far more tragic than we know? At the heart of this story is not just a theft of money, but a theft of trust. Every institution we depend on, every system we believe in, is only as strong as the honesty of the people who keep it running. And sometimes it takes just one person to shake the foundation. If you had the chance to disappear with millions, would you? And could you live with the silence that follows? This was the story of the vault tech who stole $8.2 million and vanished without a trace. But this is only one chapter in the world of financial crime. What do you think happened to him? Did he escape, or did the money bury him? Comment below with your theory. Subscribe for more true crime stories you've never heard before. And remember, sometimes the greatest mysteries are locked inside the vaults we trust the most.